Hello students, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to teach about the political science important MCQs through match the following. This video is very informative to you and very helpful as well. This video is very helpful for cracking many competitive exams. So be with this video till the end. If you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so that you can get the notification of my new videos. Let us start from the first question. In this question, you have to match type of government with principal attributes. Military regime. This is based on coercion. So A will be matched with second option. Dynastic regime. Based on difference. Pseudo-democracy. Trapping of a liberal democracy like periodic elections but power rests in the hand of oligarchy. Liberal democracy. Voluntary participation in government process is extensive. So the correct option for this question is option A. 2, 1, 3, 4. Now line agency. Line agency functions directly contributing to goal achievement. General staff. Looking after personal administration. Specified staff. Collection of data and its analysis. Personal staff. Maintenance of diary of different engagement of line officials. So the correct option for this question is option C. 3, 4, 1, 2. Now you have to match the electoral system with countries. Let us see one by one. First past the post system. This system is followed in India. 2 rounds of system. This system is followed in Egypt. List system is followed by Brazil. Single transferable vote system is followed by Ireland. So the correct option for this question is option A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you have to match authors with books. This is very important for exam perspective. A. R. Blaster. He wrote Democracy book. C.V. MacPherson. He wrote The Real World of Democracy. C. Patman. Participation and Democratic Theory. D. Held. Models of Democracy. So the correct option for this question is option C. Let us see the publication year of these books. Participation and Democratic Theory. It was published in 1970. Models of Democracy. It was published in 1987. The Real World of Democracy. It was published in 1965. Democracy was published in 1987. Sometimes these books are asked for arranging in a chronological order. So if you know the year precisely, then you can arrange these books in a chronological order. Now you have to match the thinkers with the ideas. Karl Marx, revolution as a process through which structural inequalities could be eliminated. Chalmers Johnson, value coordinated social system model. Ted Gore, aggregate psychological perspective. Barrington Moray, state of paternalistic bond between peasantry and property owners. So the correct option for this question is option B. 3, 4, 2, 1. Now articles with provisions. This type of question is also very important and oftenly have been asked in competitive exams. 559. This is related to suspension of fundamental rights. 312. All India Services. 280. Finance Commission. 360. Financial Emergency. So the correct option for this question is option A. 3, 4, 2, 1. Now books with authors. Approaches to the study of politics. This book is written by R. Young. Dynamics of Modernization is written by C. E. Black. Influencing Voters is written by R. Rose. Studies in Political Development is written by J. S. Coleman. So the correct option for this question is option B. Let us see the publication years of these books for arranging these books in a chronological order. Approaches to the Study of Politics. This book is written in 1970. Dynamics of Modernization was written in 1966. Influencing Voters is written in 1967. Studies in Political Development is written in 1965. So what is the chronological order of the publication of these books? D, B, C, A. Now conspiracy cases with revolutionary punished. This type of question is also very important for exam perspective. Oftenly questions have been asked from this type of topic. Nasik case. Who was punished in Nasik case? Vinayak Savarkar. Banaras case. Sachindranath Sanyal was punished in this case. Kakuri case. Ram Prasad Bismil. Lahore case. Bhagat Singh was punished in Lahore case. So the correct option for this question is option C. 4, 1, 2, 3. Now books with authors. Interest groups in American society. H. Jagler. Interest groups of four continents. This book was written by H. W. Erdman. Anonymous Empire. This book was written by Samuel Feiner. Human Nature in Politics. This book was written by Graham Wallace. So the correct option for this question is option D. 2143. Let us know the publication year of these books for arranging these books in a chronological order. Interest groups in American society. This book was published in 1964. Interest groups of four continents. This book was published in 1958. Anonymous Empire. This book was published in 1958. Human Nature in Politics. This book was published in 1908. Now you have to match the political culture with countries. Homogeneous culture. This type of culture is followed in UK. Elite mass culture. This type of culture is prevailed in India. Subject political culture. This type of culture is there in China. Parochial culture. This type of culture is there in Uganda. So the correct option for this question is option B. 2, 3, 4, 1. Now which one of the following pairs are not correctly matched? You have to match president with vice president and you have to see that which one is not correct. Dr. Rajendra Prasad S. Radhakrishnan was the vice president during the presidency of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. So this is correct. Dr. Zakir Hussain V.V. Giri was the vice president. It is also correct. Sanjeeva Reddy Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma was the vice president. It is not correct because Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma was the vice president during the presidency of Venkat Raman. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, vice president Dr. Zakir Hussain. So all are correct except C. So the correct option for this question is option C. Now look at the list of Indian vice presidents with presidents. This topic is very important for exam perspective because from vice president and presidents questions have been oftenly asked. Vice presidents. Dr. Sappalli Radhakrishnan. He worked during the tenure of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He worked for 10 years. He belonged to Independent Party. Dr. Zakir Hussain. He worked during the tenure of Dr. Sappalli Radhakrishnan. He worked for 5 years. He belonged to Independent Party. Venkat Giri. He worked during the presidency of Zakir Hussain. He worked for 2 years. He belonged to Independent Party. Gopal Swarup Pathak. He worked during the presidency of Venkatgiri and Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad. He worked for 5 years. He belonged to Independent Party. B.D. Jati. He worked during the presidency of Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad and Neelam Sanjiba Reddy. He worked for 5 years tenure. He belonged to Indian National Congress. Justice Muhammad Hidayatullah. He worked during the tenure of Neelam Sanjiba Reddy and Gyani Jail Singh. He worked for 5 years tenure. He belonged to Independent Party. R. Venkataraman. He worked during the presidency of Gyani Jail Singh. He worked for 2 years, 273 days. He belonged to Indian National Congress. Dr. Sankar Dayal Sharma. He worked during the presidency of R. Venkataraman. He worked for 4 years, 243 days. He belonged to Indian National Congress. K.R. Narayana. He worked during the presidency of Dr. Sankar Dayal Sharma. He worked for 4 years, 273 days. He belonged to Indian National Congress. Kishan Kant. He worked during the presidency of K.R. Narayana and Abdul Kalam. He worked for 4 years, 273 days. He belonged to Janata Dal. Varo Singh Shekhawat. He worked during the presidency of APJ Abdul Kalam. He worked for 4 years, 273 days. He belonged to BJP. Muhammad Hamid Ansari. He worked during the presidency of Pratibha Patil, Pranab Mukherjee and Ramnath Kovind. He worked for 10 years tenure. He belonged to Indian National Congress. Then Venkatan Naidu. He worked during the presidency of Ramnath Kovind, 4 years 29 days. He belonged to BJP. Now hierarchy. Hierarchy is related to a scalar process. Report on public administration. This is related to A.D. Gorwala. Preliminary screening examination in Indian civil service. This is related to Dr. K.S. Kothari. Auxiliary agency. This is related to housekeeping. So the correct option for this question is option C. 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, Deputy Prime Minister with government. Morarji Desai, Congress. Jagjeevan Ram, Janata Party. Devi Lal, United Front. L.K. Advani, National Democratic Alliance. So the correct option for this question is option C. 2143. Now authors with books. E.H. Carr, The 20-Year Crisis. R. Kohane, Neorealism and Its Critics. J. Mersheimer, The Tragedy of Great Power Politics. F. Zakaria, From Wealth to Power. So the correct option for this question is option C. 3142. Let us see the publication year of these books. Neorealism and Its Critics. It was published in 1986. From Wealth to Power. It was published in 1998. The 20-Year Crisis. It was published in 1939. The Tragedy of Great Power Politics was published in 2001. So you need to know about the year of publication for arranging these books in a chronological order. Now thinker with dominant concept. Beds on global justice. Gautier, justice as mutual advantage. Dworkin, on equality. Nozick, entitlement theory of justice. So the correct option for this question is option B, 3142. Now you have to match the School of Modernization with authors. Structural School. This is very famous school of G.A. Almond. Normative School. Mahatma Gandhi. Technological School. David Apter. Psychological School. Daniel Lerner. So the correct option for this question is option A, 2341. Now, which one of the following pairs are not correctly matched? Political parties with leaders. Telangana Rashtriya Samiti, Chandrasekhar Rao. This is correct. People's Democratic Party, Mahbuba Mufti. This is also correct. Bharatiya Janata Party, Kalyan Singh. This is also correct. Shiromani Akali Dal, Navjot Singh Sidhu. This is not correct because Navjot Singh Sidhu belongs to Indian National Congress. Now, model of development with features. Borghese model. This is urban economic growth development of legislature and electoral process. Autocratic model. Suppress middle class. Technocratic model. Low political participation and high foreign investment. Populist model. Stresses high political participation as well as economic inequality. So the correct option for this question is option D. Now writers with concepts. Dicey, rule of law, is very famous concept of Dicey. S.P. Huntington, political decay. Almond, anomic interest groups. Marbury versus Madison. This is related to judicial review. So the correct option for this question is option B, 4312. Now approaches feminism and feminist thinkers. Critical theory, Elizabeth Bruegel. Social constructivism, Chandra Mohanty. Post-structuralism, Sandra Whiteworth. Post-colonialism, Charlotte Hooper. So the correct option for this question is option B, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you have to match UN conference place with issues. Rio de Janeiro. This is very famous conference. This is related to environment. Vienna. This is related to human right. Cairo. This is related to population. Beijing. This is related to women. So the correct option for this question is option D, 4312. Now authors with books. S.D. Muni, Pangs of Proximity. C. Raj Mohan, Crossing the Rubicon. Urmila Fadnis, Ethnicity and Nation Building in South Asia. J. N. Dikshit, Anatomy of a Flared Inheritance Indo-Pak Relation. So the correct option for this question is option A, 3142. Let us see the year of publication of these books. Crossing the Rubicon, it was published in 2003. Anatomy of Flared Inheritance Indo-Pak Relations. This book was published in 1995. Pangs of Proximity, this book was published in 1993. Ethnicity and Nation Building in South Asia. This book was published in 1989. Now thinkers with concept. Thinkers, books, authors, concepts. These things are very important for exam perspective. William Cohen, Revolution in Military Affairs. Martin Shaw, Degenerate Wars. Raymond Aryan is related to the concept of hyperbolic wars. Mary Calder is related to new wars. So the correct option for this question is option A, 2341. Now authors with books. Richard Lowenthal, World Communism. Benjamin L. Scoworth, Communism and Chinese Ideology in Flux. Edgar Snow, Red China Today. Richard H. Solomon, Mao's Revolution and the Chinese Political Culture. So the correct option for this question is option A, 3412. Let us see the publications year of these books. Red China Today, 1962. Mao's Revolution and the Chinese Political Culture. This book was published in 1971. World Communism was published in 2007. Communism and Chinese Ideology in Flux. It was published in 1932. Now approaches with characteristics. Behavioral analysis of human behavior in administrative settings. Bureaucratic, legal rational authority. Ecological, agrarian transition industrialization. General systems, administrative system as a subsystem of a society. So the correct option for this question is option B, 3412. Now again, authors with books. Robert Michels, he wrote the book Political Parties. Samuel Huntington, he wrote the book The Third Wave, Democratization in the Late 20th Century. Robert Dahl, Democracy and Its Critics. Francis Fukuyama, State Building, Governance and World Order in the 21st Century. So the correct option for this question is option B, 3412. Let us see the publication year of these books. Democracy and Its Critics. It was published in 1989. State Building, Governance and World Order in the 21st Century. It was published in 2004. Political Parties was published in 1911. The Third Wave, Democratization in the Late 20th Century was published in 1993. The year of publication of these books are very important to remember for solving the sequence type of questions. Now again, books with authors. The Politics of Modernization. It was written by David E. Apter. Development as Freedoms, Amartya Sen. Political Order in Changing Societies. This is very famous book and it was written by Samuel P. Huntington. Development and Underdevelopment, Celso Furtado. So the correct option for this question is option C, 4123. Let us see the year of publication of these books. The Politics of Modernization, it was published in 1965. Development as Freedoms was published in 1999. Political Order in Changing Society was published in 1968. Development and Underdevelopment, it was published in 1967. Now you have to match the elites with functions. Current political elites, goal attainment. Economic, military, scientific, diplomatic elites. Adaptation. Priests, philosophers, educators. Integration. Artists, writers, top actors. Pattern maintenance. So the correct option for this question is option A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now thinkers with concept. M. Foucault. Biopower. Esteban Lucas. Radical view of power. Stewart Clark. Circuits of power. F. Nudges. Will to power. So the correct option for this question is option D. 2, 3, 4, 1. Now commissions or committee with issues. Mahajan Commission. This is related to Maharashtra-Karnataka boundary dispute. Sri Krishna Commission. This is related to Telangana, Andhra Pradesh. Punchi Commission is very important commission related to center-state relations. Sachar Committee is related to Muslim minority. So the correct option for this question is option B, 1, 3, 4, 2. Now you have to match the reasons of failure with states. Tribal conflict, Somalia, endless violence for non-political purposes. Liberia, ethnic genocide. Rwanda, transnational war. Congo. So the correct option for this question is option A, 2413. Now, Charles E. Merriam, New Aspects of Politics. Hans Ulan, The Behavioral Persuasion in Politics. Leo Strauss, What is Political Philosophy and Other Studies. D. Truman, The Governmental Process. So the correct option for this question is option A, 3421. Now books with authors. 100 Horizons, The Indian Ocean in the Age of Global Empire. This book is written by Sugato Bose. Global Swing States, Brazil, India, Indonesia, Turkey, and the Future of International Order. This book was published by David Clement and Richard Fontaine. War in the Indian Ocean. This book is written by Vice Admiral Mihir Kumar Roy. Samudra Manthan, Sino-Indian Rivalry in the Indo-Pacific. This book is written by C. Raja Mohan. So the correct option for this question is option C, 2341. Now you have to match the international organization with member states. European Union has 27 member states. African Union has 55 member states. Shanghai Cooperation Organization has 8 member states. World Intellectual Property Organization has 193 member states. So the correct option for this question is option D, 3412. Now you have to match some important judicial decisions with year or issues. 9 judges appointment. This incident took place in 2021. NASA case judgment. This incident took place in 2014. Husainra Khatun versus State of Bihar. This is related to free legal aid and a speedy trial. Petition filed by lawyer Kush Kalra. This is related to equal opportunity for women at NDA and the Indian Naval Academy. So the correct option for this question is option C, 3124. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe.